Hey yo, what's up? You know what it is. It's the one and only Professor L live in the LAB. I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And yo, we got some of that Kamen Rider build for you. So come on into the lab, my kiddies. Come on in. Make sure, get your lab coats on. Make sure you're nice and sterile and everything. Don't touch nothing your ass can't replace. Take a seat and look at the board. Because we got Kamen Rider Build episode number 2, The Innocent Runaway. Now, this episode was a little bit more of plot establishment because we still in the early stages of this show and we're slowly, because we have a world to build here. And it's going to take a while because of all the dynamics in the background that we have no idea that are happening yet. And the things that this episode presented, which was a whole lot, we are going to be in world building mode for, I think, at least maybe the first 10 or so episodes. That's just my honest thought on it because there is a lot we have to cover. Remember, Japan is currently separated by a big giant wall into 3 different Mishima Zaibatsus. We talked about that, right? So we've got a whole lot going on. Luckily for us, this episode really condenses a lot of the episode right where we need it to get you exactly what it is that you need so that you become a better episode watcher of Kamen Rider Build. I'll explain. Our episode opens in the basement of Nasita. It opens in the basement of Nasita, and it would seem that Soichi left the door open because Japanese Lois Lane just walked in the door like, "Hey, everybody, I know who you are now, and if you don't give me an interview, I'm going to tell a squad on you." And I'm like, huh? But see, here's the thing. We need Sawa. The story needs her, and I'll explain why. You need a character like that because you have a Kiryu who's sitting up here who's all over the place, right? You have that over there. You got Ryuga, he on his own one too. We don't really know a lot about Masora, and we gonna talk about a little bit more her later. And Soichi, we learn a little something special about him at the end of the episode. So again, like I say, we need a character like her because we need somebody to see the show through, right? Because we already know what's going to happen with our boy Ryuga. We already know that the episode established as much. So we need a set of eyes to see the world through. Now, we won't be completely seeing this whole series through Sawa's eyes, no. But at least this early stuff, because you need somebody putting in your work on the outside while you sitting up here doing all the formulas and sliding down ramps of formulas and rider kicking things to death. You need somebody to handle your business, and no one else that's on the side of the good guys is equipped to do that other than Sawa. So we need her to be our eyes and ears of the world to let the squad know, like, yo, this is what's popping off. And because now you know what's popping off, this will give you your next plot directive. And she's going to be that this season. She's going to be our eyes and ears to make sure that we know where the plot is going, or at least giving you starting points of where the plot going, and then the rest of this cast will drive it for you. So you need an introductory character like that to your plot because we have so much to cover. So I appreciate that early on that they're establishing the character like that. Now, I don't really think that I'm not even going to try to throw Ringo weight on her. I don't really think that she's going to become a Kamen Rider of any kind, or that there's any hope of that at all, because I don't even want to introduce that thought into my brain. I don't, and I won't. But she is going to play a very important role throughout this whole series, and her importance will become more and more important, and then ultimately at some point she'll be kidnapped and it'll lead to a power-up, because that's how these things work. But that's how these things work. Just trust me, that's how they work. That's how they always worked, and unless there is going to be some mega plot twist, and we're going to talk about my theories on the plot twist we got going on, it's going to be what it's going to be. More of the further explanation of the plot came in the scene with Masora and Ryuga when she explains to him how purifying pure bottles works, right? She explains it on this board, and they have fun with it. And one of the things I do want to say while it's on my mind, I appreciate for a show with a character who is super smart, for a show that gets grimy, that they want to introduce some fun into it. It's like X-Aid really didn't have fun at the expense of having fun. We 2 episodes in, and anytime this show gets a chance to be stupid, it allows itself to be stupid, and I'm glad that the show allows itself to be stupid. And this was one of those things where, let me explain to you how this works, right? And I appreciate that even though we kind of understood how it worked, and that the more and more we get to know Masora about learning how that process works, it's going to establish itself. But I'm glad that you know that, because we're still in establishment mode of establishing the characters and this plot and how it works around those 2 important things, is that they take the chance to remind you that this is how this works. Also, like, as I'm sitting up here trying to gather for when we start getting real ignorant, I'm probably going to be calling Masora swimming pools. I'm going to leave y'all to why would I call her swimming pools as a reference to something else. I'm going to leave y'all to that, right? So, y'all do that. Meanwhile, we got our boy Ryuga. Ryuga's got a girlfriend. My girl got a girlfriend. Sherry juice like whirlwind, right? It's always a significant other, always driving force for everything. And as we go through this episode, is that you understand that this character is a lot more important to Ryuga's early plot trajectory than even we think. Yeah, it looked like he was about to wife her up, and you know what? Let's just skip to the point. We find out during the course of this episode that his girlfriend Kasumi, right, set him up for the murder that got him hemmed up in the jail for him to ultimately escape the jail, and is going to come pop forward full circle later in the episode. So I just want to establish that because I didn't want to have to come back to it later, but that is what it is. Now, there is one other character that we need to discuss, and that is our main character, Sento Kiryu. Now, in this episode, we got the first real official taste of Gorillamon. Now, the thing that I thought about that I know I wanted to mention just for the sake of some flavor in the review is one thing that Gorillamon did was after he turned into Rabbit Vacuum and he sucked up all the fire, he touched it with his diamond side, and the fire turned into diamonds. So that does make me wonder, is the power that Kiryu would use if he used the bottle outside of build form, would he be able to transmute diamonds into anything he touched? That'll be interesting to find out and see, but I just had that on my mind and I had it in my notes, so I wanted to mention it. Also, because these are early establishment episodes of a Kamen Rider show, we got the CG that's questionable. Episode 1 had it when they were going down the skywall, and this had a whole bunch of foot soldiers. We're gonna call them foot soldiers. I was playing Ninja Turtles this weekend. Don't ask me why. But they sat up here infused into this big old monster tank thing, and it shot. And then there was this scene where Ryuga was, where it's like, Kiryu punched Ryuga on a bike, made him run away, and make this whole little mathematical equation work, and then punched it in the head. And I was just like, okay, I'm with this. Completely, utterly with this. Also, in more plot development news, Batman, the man that Kiryu's been calling Batman, his name is Night Rogue, but I think when we start getting ignorant, we're going to call him Batman. Because A, Batman sounds funnier, B, Batman sounds funnier, and C through Z refer to A and B. Because I'm not going to sit up here and say Night Rogue all the time. No, we're going to call you Batman because, we can call you Batman because, this is my show. I can do that, so we're going to call you Batman. How about that? Okay, cool. So, one of the important things, because we are still in plot establishment mode, is we learn about Hazard Level 1. There are some people who are so messed up when they get transformed into Smash that destroying them and doing what you do that would normally separate a human being from their Smash form will kill them, as we noticed, because Kasumi is dead. Was that a spoiler? Oh wait, you watched the episode, so you know she died. It was this weird thing of, separating the build from the human, and he was using Gorilla Mind to hold the thing in there and all that. It was weird. And you got all the plot relevant stuff where she learned where Kasumi learned she set him up, and it was the same dude that we learned at the end of the episode thanks to Sawa, the same dude that knocked him out in the first episode and gave him some of that lean in the neck. Sadapur was the one that set him up to originally take the fall for the murder. So in all of that, we've got a lot going on. For real, we have a lot going on here. The thing that I think that I don't want to say the most important, but the thing that we need to watch out for, it's the same thing I said at the beginning of X-Aid when I talked about Hero and I talked about Emu. It's going to be a very similar thing between Kiryu and Ryuga. It's going to be that fan, because see, the thing is that over time, we are going to establish what I want to call the Bill family, right? So, you got Soichi, you got swimming pools, you got Kiryu, you got Ryuga, and you got Sawa. You got this, they gonna come together at the squad. Everybody know what their roles are, what they are to play. And because this is going to be an ensemble cast, I see this growing a little bit more, because I know about Kamen Rider Claws or whatever, and that was also to set up at the end of the episode, because the essence that Kiryu got from Kasumi when she died was the dragon, and he tossed it to her, and Ryuga. Okay, so we already established that you're going to become Kamen Rider Claws. We've already established that. It makes sense. I don't need a Japanese toy scan to tell me that you finna become a Kamen Rider, because every time Kiryu's gonna fight you right there. I don't really need a toy catalog to tell me that. That's a no duh. I get it. It makes sense. Fair enough. So, again, it's like, for real, like I said, a lot of these early episodes are going to be establishing this plot, this world, the initial plot trajectory of these characters, and then we can start acting stupid. I still need to get to learn these characters a little bit more before we clown. It's still a lot of analysis for me up front, because that's what it has to be. Because there are a lot of things that I really think that I can enjoy this show, have fun with it, and still be able to analyze it in a way that can be presented to you as a way for you to think about it, and a way for me to, after I've thought about it, to come back on the reverse and think about it again. That's why we're in the laboratory. That's why we do what we do. We put in work. There's a lot going on. That building this world, these plots, the trajectories. What is the word that I want to use here? I want to use bonds, because the bonds that hold these people together and unite them in a way, because the plot works for it. Oh, and one more thing. When it comes to Batman, my initial theories is it's not leader of Gray Squad, it's his little homie. That's Batman. Take me on the bet, because see, that's gonna be the bait and switch. That's gonna be the bait and switch, because I just thought about that. That Batman is not leader of Gray Squad up there where Kiryu work at. It's his little homie. It's his little homie, because see, that's how they get you. It was me all along. Yeah, Vince McMahon got headbutted on TV last night. Let's not talk about that. It was me, Build. It was me all along, Build. See, you need that type of stuff, right? You need that. 2 episodes in, I love what this show is doing. I'm like, this show, again, like I said earlier, this show is not so far up its own ass that it's willing to have fun. It's a show that's engaging, and as long as they keep engaging me, I really think that this is a show that I will enjoy, that can go the distance. Now, I remember at the beginning of X-Aid, I called that was going to be like something, and while it was great most of the time, like, it was something they could have done a little bit more toward the end, and I admitted that. This right here, This is something that's going to get better as it go along, because see, right now we slow rolling. We slow rolling the plot, because you have to remember, we got 3 Mishima Zaibatsus, we got a whole bunch of characters to introduce. We have mystery upon mystery upon mystery upon mystery within not only our own little Bill family, but outside of that, what's going on, and we are trying to establish all these characters, their initial plot trajectory. There is a lot going on here, but the thing is, it's not so much going on that it's hard to keep up with. I appreciate, and I didn't say this last week, but I'm going to say this now, that they not sitting up here and just dumping everything on you. They giving you enough to sit up here to chew, digest, swallow, and let chill in your stomach for a while before they give you another helping. They just giving you bit by bit, because this is a show that's going to slow roll us in. This is a show that doesn't have some weird twist, and we talked about the Kamen thing last week. This is a show that, honestly, in my view, has no reason to sit up here and give you some weird twist like 10, 15 episodes in of this is what it is. The show doesn't need to do that, because the show has already given you what it's going to be, and it's given itself something solid that it can build from. Again, pun intended. Something that it can legitimately build from without having to sit up here and bait and switch you. It's like I said about God. It's like, because of what that story ultimately became, it needed the bait and switch to work. Build is not a show that needs the bait and switch to work, because the plot is simple, and from simplicity can come complexity. Again, more of what the show is at its heart. That we are talking about a complex character, super genius, but the plot he's a part of is so grounded and so simple that that's something that, again, pun intended, that you can build from, and it can work. And given that it's two episodes in, and I already see what the gears are turning, again, pun intended, is you can see how this works, how this is going to be. That, again, like I said, this is a show that doesn't need the surprise plot twist. You are going to get your unmaskings, your surprises, but it doesn't need to sit up here and diverge the plot so much that it becomes something different than when you came into it. Does that make sense to everyone? You got me, class? Show doesn't need a plot twist to keep you interested, because the show has explained itself enough. Do you need me to re-explain the plot to you? Because I can really quickly. Mars, Pandora's box, somebody presses box, turns Japan into 3 Mishima Zaibatsus, a Kamen Rider appears to fight the Smash, bottles are purified, homie's been set up by his down dead girlfriend by some fat dude who's a cop. There's your plot. See, look at that. Helping me, helping you help yourself. A triple the G.O.D. staple. You're welcome. But yo, that is episode 2 of Kamen Rider Build. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks. So I'm, of course, the one and the only Pastor L, a.k.a. Professor L. Because, yo, even though I'm in the classroom, I can still get my preacher on. Please believe me. Please believe me that I can do what it does. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Is that everything? Are we done here? Looking at my notes here. Yep, that's everything. Go ahead. Lab coats in your cubby holes. Make sure that you're getting sterile on your way out. Again, please don't touch anything your ass can't replace. I'd like to again thank everybody for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks. So I am, of course, the one and the only Professor L, live in the L.A.B. And again, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks. And with that being said, best match. One more thing, because there's always one more thing. Even though I take all these wonderful notes, I forgot something. The end of the episode, so Ichi took a tablet and then turned it into a back scratcher. I wonder what's up with that. These questions and more will be answered on the next episode of Kamen Rider Build. Maybe. But yeah, the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D, a.k.a. Professor L, live after class in the LAB. And with that being said, best match.